Welcome to culteffect.com, where beauty lives. This tutorial is all about drama. It's strong eyes, strong lips, it's going to be really cool. So for this tutorial we have the beautiful Lauren as our model. To prep the skin first, I'm using Balance Me's Cleanse and Smooth Face Balm, which is a beautiful face wash that's really oily based, so it really cleans the skin really gently, but it does have some light exfoliators in it that will get rid of dead skin cells, and it smells incredible. I'm going to use a muslin cloth to take the cleanser off, which gets rid of everything, and it also helps exfoliate your skin as well. But just be gentle when you're doing this. You don't need to be too hard on your skin. Some people really scrub when they're exfoliating their skin. That's actually damaging your skin. If you are gentle, you get rid of more skin actually than doing it the opposite way. To make sure that you have all the oil off, because if it's not off, your foundation won't stick later. And then after this, I'm going to use Le Creme Concentrate from Ambre Ulysse, which is their iconic moisturizer. It's used all over the world. Millions and millions of products are sold every year. And when you try it, you'll understand why. It's a beautiful texture, but it also works really well with makeup, so your makeup won't feel tired after about an hour or two. It lasts for the whole day, and your skin will feel really refreshed and hydrated. So you can see when you put it on, be gentle with your skin again. You can pat it in like this, or rub it gently like that. Don't rub it in like this, because that just irritates your skin. And if your skin is the kind of skin that gets any way red at all, if you're rubbing it really hard, it's going to get redder, and you're going to have to put loads of foundation and concealer on, and then when your skin dies down in an hour or two, you'll just have too much makeup on. Okay, so for foundation on this look, I'm going to use T. Leclerc's Hydrating Foundation. Lauren has beautiful skin, so she doesn't need an awful lot of coverage, so the lighter texture foundation that you can have, the better it will look later on. Again, I'm using my fingers to apply this. You apply it with the pad of your finger and blend it with the length of your finger. You just get a much nicer finish that way. Really blend it in so that you get rid of any lines of foundation. There's nothing as bad as seeing foundation that stops at a certain part of the face or neck. You know, you want it to look like your skin. The whole aim of foundation is to make your skin look incredible. You never want people to notice it. You always want people to think you've got beautiful skin. And be really diligent with your blendings. Like, if you're not used to using your fingers to apply your foundation, this will take a while to get used to, because you'll think it takes much longer than using another tool to do it. But you really get a much nicer finish this way. But once you get used to it, you can have this done in about 30 seconds. Do apply foundation to your eyelids, because your lids are the place that kind of get the most discoloration on your face, and that doesn't matter if you're 6 months or 74. You know, it's just when we get tired, it's in our genes that we get darker in here. As much kind of stuff that corrects that, the better. And sometimes concealer is just too heavy for that. And get your foundation right up to your lash line on the bottom, because you want it to be, your skin to be even all over. And if you're doing this with a brush, sometimes you could stick it in your eye, because you don't really know, but with your fingers you can really get it much closer without sticking it in your eye. And you can see if by choosing the right colour with Lauren's skin, there's no visible difference between the skin colour on her neck and on her face. So it means you don't have to bring your foundation down onto your neck. You just leave it all in your face, so your clothes won't get covered in makeup again. And then for concealer, I'm using a concealer from T. Leclerc. This is a stick concealer, so it's a little bit heavier in texture. So if you have a blemish or anything, you just put the concealer onto the blemish and then blend it in with your finger. And what happens there is when you apply the concealer to the blemish and blend around it and on top of it, you completely erase the blemish. Whereas if you just put the concealer onto the blemish and don't do anything, everybody will see a big concealer spot, so they'll know that there's something lurking underneath there. So you want to completely get rid of it. Pay particular attention to around the nose area and the chin area. And in here, in the darkest point of your face, pay particular attention in there. Some people don't have any darkness here. A lot of the time, if you don't drink enough water, you get really dark in there, so make sure you're drinking at least 2 litres a day. and that should help with that. But you can see that that is just a really even finish to the makeup. After this, I'm going to use one of my favourite products on the whole website, which is from Paul and Joe, this is a lip and cheek tint, but if you can see it, the top of the thing looks like a cat, which I think is the cutest thing ever. And this, you just put it onto the cheeks first from the thing, and then you blend it in. It's a little bit of a stronger colour, it's more of a pinky tone, but Lauren is like 4, so this will work perfect on younger skin. As we get older, you go for warmer tones, so peachier tones work better as you get older, but like she's a baby, so this is perfect for her. So to set Lauren's makeup, I'm going to use Tila Clerc's Loose Powder in Banana. The reason that I love this is because it's so finely milled, it won't take away the sheen that you get from your foundation and your moisturiser and everything that we've tried to get your skin looking dewy. And actually the real reason that I love it is because it was Marilyn Monroe's favourite loose powder, so if it's good enough for her, it's good enough for me. Once you've done that, it's time to move on to the eye makeup. And I know in other tutorials I always say do the brows last. In this tutorial I'm going to do them first, because that will determine how much eye makeup we can put on the rest of her eyes. Now Lauren has a lot of space between her brows and her eyelid, so she can wear loads and loads of makeup. But for other people that can't wear loads of makeup, you kind of bring the darkness up to your brow bone. That's as far as you bring it. But sometimes if the brows are done first, it kind of determines how dark you can go. When you're choosing a brow colour pencil, choose one that's lighter than the hair is. So if you've got like dark brown hair, go for light brown pencil. If you've got medium brown hair, go for a dark blonde pencil. And the reason for this is because an eyebrow pencil, when the product hits the hair, it oxidizes about twice as quick. So it goes about twice as dark as it looks in the pencil. So don't get something that's the same colour as your hair, because then they'll just go too dark. So you can see that's them kind of filled in. I'm going to make them a bit stronger because this is a more dramatic look. And as you can see what I'm doing, it's in short bursts of pencil as opposed to one long line. And that just makes them look more natural. Like obviously these aren't her natural eyebrow shape, but we don't want them to look fake. We want them to look like these are her eyebrows. And you don't want there to be any pencil lines there, so really get the brush in at the top of the pencil and get rid of that. And then that kind of determines what we do. At this point, I'm going to use one of the Tila Clerc's. It's a velvet shadow pen, so it's an eye shadow in a pen format. And they're self-feeding, so you just twist them to get more out. It's makeup for dummies. This is all your makeup in one thing. So you use it first as an eyeliner, so you apply it as close to your lash line as you possibly can. And you can see that it's really liquidy and quite soft. Then you get a blending brush and you blend this in. And this gives you, I suppose, a modern version of a smoky eye. It's not, I think some smoky eyes, if you look up for me, Lauren, some smoky eyes just look really dated. You know, the smoky eye kind of was at the height of fashion in the early 90s, and some people still have the same kind of makeup. Whereas if you do it a bit softer and a bit more interesting with a product like this, it looks more up to date and it won't look dated. And as I said earlier on, you use your brow bone as your guideline of where the darkness should be. So the darkest point is either at your lashes or at this point here, just in the outer part of your eye. And that will make your eye look bigger. So then at this point, again, you go to the other side and you can see I blended in the first eye first, and then I'm going on to the second eye. And the reason that I did that is because once this product dries, it does not move. And look up for me. So if you don't blend it in quite quickly, you could be left with eye makeup that doesn't look like you spent a lot of time doing it. If you've made a bit of mistake and there's some colour down here, get a cotton bud and just clean it off. That's what these were invented for. They're not meant to be used for ears. They're meant to be used for makeup and babies things. But you can see that just gives you a nice little flick, so it widens your eye a bit more. And the whole point for me when I'm doing eye makeup is to make your eyes look wider and bigger. So the wider you can get this, the better it is. But again, the main thing to remember is that you never go above your brow bone. Use your brow bone as a guide. And then I'm just going to set this more so with a bit more powder on top. You don't need to do this, but I just want it to be kind of bulletproof makeup, so when you put this on, we know that it's not going to move, and it just makes it a bit darker and a bit more interesting. So you kind of go over the lines that we created earlier on with the makeup, clean off your brush, and blend it all in. Again, blending is the most important part of any makeup look, whether you're doing a dramatic look like this or if you're doing a really soft makeup look like we have in other tutorials on the site. Blending is always going to be the thing that you'll hear me say most in these tutorials. And look up for me now and blend this underneath. And then get one of your bigger blending brushes and blend all this. So this becomes a much more gradual thing into darkness. You don't want a dark line, you don't want lines on your face ever. And at this point, like, you can decide if you want to put a lighter shade up here or if you want to put a warmer shade up there. I prefer warmer shades, so I'm going to put a Tita Clark warmer shade just up at the brow. But it has a bit of sheen to it, so you also get that kind of lightness to it as well. Clean off your brush again and blend it all in. Okay, so now we're going to put lashings and lashings and lashings of mascara on. Look at the ground. So this is a Paul & Joe mascara, and this is the end that has a kind of a comb, so it just gives you much more definition on your lashes, and it really separates them, but it makes them look super, super thick and luscious, which is like amazing. As you can see, look down for me, Lauren is starting to cry, which is never a good plan, which I will poke her in the other eye and hopefully it will move over there. But we want to get this as close to the root as possible so that your lashes look much longer. And then just look at me. Look up. So at this point I'm going to line the inner part of Lauren's eye with the same pencil that we used on the outside. This is a softer black than using the black liner. I think sometimes the black liner can be quite harsh, but this gives you darkness in there that's cute and nice, but it's just not as harsh. And then if you are the person that gets a bit teary, this is another great use for your cotton buds. Just stick it in the corner here and it soaks up all the excess water on both sides, and that should stop it from leaking. And then last but not least, we're going to use a Tita Clark lipstick. This is number 16 in the Rouge Satin, so it's a really quite a strong red. The one thing about Tita Clark lipsticks is that although the colour intensity is really, really strong, it never compromises on the moisture of your lips. So you'll get a really strong red, but your lips will always feel hydrated, which is great. So you fill in, like what I do is I start in the bottom lip, do the centre, do the outer corner, do the outer corner, and then if you close for me, and then do the top lip. I start on the outside, bring it in, on the outside, and bring it in, and to kind of do your Cupid's bow last. I like lips that are not so strongly kind of lined and stuff. I like them to look a bit more bee-stung, but that's just my preference. So sometimes I would do lips with like just my finger like this, so you get the colour there, but not the strength and the intensity of a red lip. But that's all personal choice. If you like really strong lips, knock yourself out. And again, if you make little mistakes like I just did there, like your finger will take it off, or a cotton bud, whichever you feel more comfortable with. If you're doing a very strong red lip, sometimes you'll see people like suck on their finger for a second and pull it out like an ice pop, and that takes lipstick that would end up on your teeth out of your mouth. So if you're a person that gets lipstick on your teeth the whole time, just do that. And there we have it. So see, it's all over her face. And there's our much stronger, more dramatic eye and lip look on Lauren. Thank you.